Hi everyone and welcome to Speaking of Diamonds. My name is Rich and here we are with week 1 of the WIP and Chats for Mermaids and Magic 2025. So welcome on in, grab your work in progress and let's get to work and work together with these. If you are not participating in Mermaids and Magic, you can certainly listen along as well. But I am going to be, we're going to have a little catch up like we normally would with the WIP and Chats. And then I have a little something special for the folks participating in Mermaids and Magic. Again, if you're not participating, you can certainly listen along. And then somewhere in this video, we will have a keyword. I will give you a keyword that you need to use in a comment in the comments of this video. And you need to use it in a sentence. You cannot just post the word because sometimes the filters will pick that up and mark it either as spam or know some type of contest is going on. Do not refer to a prize, a contest, anything like that. Just use the keyword in a sentence. I will be asking a question, so you will have the ability to form a sentence using the keyword. So, for those of you who are participating in Mermaids and Magic by now, you should have posted your start picture with your keyword of Serena. I guess Tiffany, who chose this word, she said this is the name of a mermaid in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, which I've never seen one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I don't really know why, but I just haven't. So that's where this word is coming from. So you just want to go ahead and write it on a Post-it note or something and put it on your canvas and take a picture of it to document where you were at with when you were starting, whether it was a completely blank canvas or you were halfway done and there's still the 30 by 30 section requirement left. Artwork on your posting is completely optional, but to be honest, I think the fish with the bubbles and the seaweed here make the Post-it note there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on one of two canvases that I'm hoping to complete as part of Mermaids and Magic. This first one is Doorway to the Stars. It's artwork by Josephine Wall. This is from Diamond Painting Deutschland. It is, I believe this is an 85 by 85. Super confetti heavy because if you've ever seen Josephine Wall's artwork, there's just a lot of detail to it. So the detail combined with just the coloring shades really equals a confetti heavy piece. And this image has 167 colors. So as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3 and a quarter art dot drawers full of drills, and then of course I have some overflow in my holder here, just things that I couldn't fit into one jar, so I kept a little extra here and I have it set aside. So I've been working on this since last year in April and May. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to go back in the drawer and it's not going. In April and May, there's an event that runs for a J-Wall event, and it's just a diamond painting along. And I like participating in it because I like to see the different artwork and stuff. And, you know, as with any of the events, it sort of gives you a boost, something keep you going a little bit, right? So I thought I'm going to double dip and use this for both my J-Wall event and the beginning of Mermaids and Magic, because somewhere over here, well actually right here, this is a fairy castle, and so there's fairies, they're magical, and I think that works out very well. The one thing about this image I will tell you is, and I've said this before, this is the first diamond painting that I've really have been working on that really doesn't make sense until you see it from a viewing distance. A viewing distance being 5-6 feet away. The picture just comes together with all of the detail and stuff like that. It just looks superb. So I'm really excited to see what this looks like when it's done. So today I'm using a tray from Unimade when I need a tray. With this much confetti, I typically just use the lids to my round containers, but I have this here standing by. I have my Ivy Dazzlers. This is my newest, favoriteest thing ever. Sort of this caramel brown into the purple, and then that's repeated here in the tip. Got my O-rings to hold on to it, so I'm not holding on to the thread of the screw there. And then I have my 6-placer from Diamond Art Club on this end. I have in here, I have oatmeal cookie from Tracy's DP World for my putty. And these are automatic feeding. So all I do is twist it a little bit, and then a little putty will come out of the pen. And then what I do is I just twist it back a little bit, push that back down so it's not sticking out. Instead, it's just right inside the opening there. And then here I have Alien Putty Regular Blue for my multi-placer. And then I have a trinket tray here from, this is from Stacy at Lady Lathe. This is real abalone shell in here. I absolutely love it. I had won a pen from her that had abalone in it, and I told her how much I liked abalone, and she goes, I'm going to make you something, and she made this. It was totally awesome. Then I have some Donna Bass tweezers, just some plain silver sparkle tweezers here. And then I have these tweezers from Susie's Creations on Etsy. This is Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, and she's on this, Susie calls them putty removal tweezers. I don't know what they're really called, but these are super, super helpful when you get putty on the canvas. It's just one movement and it comes right up. So I have those ready as well. And then, of course, I'm using some release papers. The way that I like to work is I leave the plastic cover, or in this instance, the white double-sided adhesive cover, okay, because this came from Diamond Painting Deutschland, and they use the double-sided adhesive on these large images, or at least they did. So I take one row down and I put the papers down, and then I will leave the plastic on, or this white cover. So when I lay my arms down, I'm not laying it on release papers and taking up the corners or stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pick out my first color here, and I always make sure that I have the right symbol facing the right way, because there are multiple colors that have the same symbol. They're just orientated differently, and the colors are very close. Obviously, this one is looking a little bit more red on the camera, but in person, they look very, very, very similar. So my painting is orientated, it's sideways, so the top is over there. So I just want to make sure that I have the right symbol. All right, so how is everyone? I hope that your week is off to a good start. I hope that you had a good weekend. For me, the weekend went by quicker than normal. It just seems that the next thing I know, it's Sunday afternoon, and I'm doing my live, and I'm trying to get things done around the house so I can sit down and diamond paint for a little bit tonight. It's funny that there is very few days that I go without diamond painting, and I need to diamond paint. Like, I don't need to like finish whole sections at a time or anything, but I need to put some drills down on a canvas. It just sort of makes me feel like my day is complete a little bit. And of course, it's a great way to unwind in the evening. So I hope you're able to do the same at some point this week. For so let's see, what was I doing this weekend? So I didn't do a whole heck of a lot. But I was very busy. Like, you know how that goes. Like, you know that you did stuff, but you look around and you go, but nothing is really done. So I had plans to like deep clean the kitchen and deep clean the living room and whatnot. But instead, well, part of that was I needed to get some diamond paintings that were piling up in the living room, you know, that came in from, you know, different orders. And I needed to get them into the room that has my stash. And I keep a spreadsheet of all of my diamond paintings. And I find it very helpful so that I know what I have, if I can go through and, you know, I can search for keywords. You know, if I'm doing an event like Mermaids and Magic, I can go in and say, give me any painting with magic, give me any painting with mermaid. And if it's in the title, it's going to be there. I also mark them with, if they're a holiday canvas, you know, I'll mark this is a Halloween canvas, this is a Christmas canvas, what have you. And record the size, the shape, the artist. I just started putting artist in there just because now there are so many artist-specific events. It'd be great to be like, okay, let me look for whoever, Dakota Dateweiler, let me look for Dakota's paintings and search on that. So I know that there's the app for, what is that called? Gems Flow. And unfortunately, I started my spreadsheet before I knew that that app existed. And I know that the app is quite helpful because I've seen other people use it. And I know that it tracks some really good information that is helpful to manage your stash. But I had my spreadsheet first. And I don't know that there's a way that I can upload my spreadsheet, and I don't want to have to retype everything, especially on my phone. So the spreadsheet it is. You know, plus I use Excel for work, so I'm well versed in Excel, and I find that it's helpful to, this is going to sound dorky, but run pivot tables and stuff like that on my stash to figure out, you know, I list prices, how much I paid for it, did it come from a D-stash, what have you, is it in progress, did I sell it, did I give it away, stuff like that. So I'm able to run a quick pivot chart to be like, how much have I spent this year on diamond paintings? And my advice to you is never do that. Never ever sit down and add up how much you spent on diamond paintings for the year, because one of two or both will happen. Things will happen. You will go, oh my gosh, how embarrassing. Then you're going to go, oh my gosh, I could have used that money for something else. But then you're going to go, oh my gosh, how big is my stash? It's just, it's shocking all the way around. So maybe don't do that unless you have a good constitution behind you. But, you know, it's interesting. And I like seeing, you know, what percentage of my stash is from large, like DAC or Dreamer Designs versus some of the smaller shops. I like seeing that. I like to maintain a bit of a balance to make sure that I am, patronizing companies in all areas of the diamond painting community and stuff like that. So little dorky data stuff that I like to get into a little bit. But so yeah, let me see. I keep forgetting what symbol I'm working on. And of course, the one downside of working out of the lid is your label is on the bottom of the lid. So I periodically have to hold it up above my head to look at the bottom to be like, oh, that's right, I'm working on this symbol or whatever. So yeah, I have been watching the Mermaids and Magic Facebook page and have seen some great, beautiful images that people have posted start pictures for, and I've started to see some progress pictures, which is very nice to see. I'm assuming, like I diamond paint every day for a little bit at least. But I know some folks that, you know, may have families or work outside of the house or stuff like that. You know, you may get most of your diamond painting time in on the weekends. So I'm assuming that, you know, seeing posts on the weekends of progress is sort of, you know, putting a marker on that progress that you got done for the weekend. But I hope your canvas is going well. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying seeing the image come to life. Yeah, it's always fun to see the painting come to life and stuff like that. So let's see, what do I got going on this week? I don't think I have much of anything going on this week. Obviously I'm going to be working, and I'm going to be going through my stash to see if there's anything. Tonight I went through my stash to find some images that I can donate. What I typically do is I have, as part of my stash, I still have a lot of the items that when I first started, and I think a lot of us have these, when I first started, I was buying kits that perhaps weren't licensed or weren't great quality. And I'm not saying wasn't buying DAC, because there's other companies that have good quality out there, but obviously things off of Amazon, Temu, stuff like that, sometimes the quality can be a little suspect. So I have some of those, and it's like I've held on to them because, you know, maybe it's, you know, there's like one of them I have that it's a picture, a photograph of the Chicago River, and I just think it's an amazing photograph. And you know, I don't know that it was credited to anyone, but it's a painting that I want, so I am going to hold on to that and do that one day. I also have one like that of the Brooklyn Bridge that I really like the image for and that I want to work on. I tend to want to stick with licensed artwork for the obvious reasons that I want to make sure that artists are being compensated for their artwork. But every once in a while, you know, I see that one thing that, hey, this is something that this is an image I really like and I can't find it anywhere else. Let's go ahead and do this. I also done that one other time. There's a diamond painting store in Illinois. It's out in Belvedere, Illinois, which is out by Rockford, which is, how long does it take to get out to Rockford? 2 hours, maybe 2 hours northwest of me here. I learned about it. How did I learn about it? Oh, because there's a store in Wisconsin, and that's a couple hours away. And I thought, I wonder if there's any others like closer, what have you. So I just did a general Google search one day, looking for diamond painting stores other than, you know, Michael's and stuff like that. This one is always confusing because there's 4 blue, let me hold this up, look at these shapes. They're all dots with like two lines making a corner there, and they're all blue. So I always have to get them all out and make sure that I'm orientating this right. But I found this shop online, and they do have a website. So I was looking, and you know, I want to support this small business that's not necessarily in my community, but it's here in the state, and it's a small storefront, and knowing that, you know, storefronts in general are sort of becoming a thing of the past with online shopping and stuff like that. So I wanted to support them. So there were, I didn't see a lot of licensed artwork. So I purchased 2 small canvases that is not licensed. And I did it mostly just to support the business. I did talk to the owner about it. I'm like, you know, hey, do you have any license? And she's like, oh, you know, it's really expensive, and you know, all the regular stuff that you hear. It's unfortunate, but you know, it also is a reality. So I bought them. I haven't done them yet. I don't know that I will do them. Maybe someday I will donate them. You know, hopefully they can serve the purpose of getting someone interested in diamond painting. Maybe it could be someone's first unlicensed artwork that brings them into the craft. And then, like most of us have discovered that, you know, what licensing is, and what type of quality should be looking for. So, yeah. And when I say donate, so I've donated a couple times. The first one was, I was doing a de-stash of, not paintings, but I was doing a de-stash. Remember DAC and all of their cover minders, right? So I had so many of those, and I don't always use a cover minder, and if I do, I typically gravitate to ones that I've picked out that are totally my style. A lot of the items that were in the kits just weren't my style, so I had a whole plethora of those. So I put them up for de-stash, and some lady contacted me, and she goes, "Can I have all of them?" And I said, sure. And I wasn't charging for them because I didn't pay specifically for the cover minder. It was, you know, like an add-on with the canvas. I was just charging shipping. And I said, you know, I asked, I'm like, is there anything specific that you're going to do with like 50 cover minders? And she said that she worked with some organization. Gotta be careful, my symbols. Looks like I missed one of these. She worked with an organization, I think it was a women's shelter, and she brought them diamond paintings and stuff like that, and they always needed the stuff that came along with it. You know, they always needed extra toolkits and extra cover minders and stuff like that. So she brings them to this women's shelter to allow, you know, women who are staying there to have something to do to take their mind off things. And I said, you know what? I love that idea. I said, can you use anything else? And she goes, oh, well, diamond painting, stuff like that. I said, okay, say no more. And then I went through my stash, and that was my first giveaway of paintings that I no longer wanted, and that was great. So then Stacy at Lady Lathe, she lives down in Florida. Her and her husband go to every other Sunday they go somewhere near them down in Florida, and it's my understanding it's some type of program for people to help people reacclimate when they come out of prison. And she goes there every other Saturday, and she was saying, hey, if anybody has anything to send down, help, send it my way to donate. So I had, about the time that I was doing the auction with Berta and Tammy, I put together some paintings, and Berta says, hey, I have some. Can I send those to you and you can send them to Stacy? I said, sure. So I sent her a big old box, big box of these diamond paintings, and she was just absolutely grateful to have it. As she showed me pictures of her at the facility with the box and stuff like that. So it was, it's nice, and I hope, knowing the way that diamond painting helps me with getting your mind off of things, with mental health, things like that. I hope that I love the fact that they are benefiting someone in need of that distraction or that mental health boost, if you will. So I love doing that. And so I went through, and I'm sort of, I get in these moods, like, I wonder if anybody else does this. I get in these moods, like, for me to clean and declutter. I'm not just talking like dusting and stuff, but like I need to go through the bookshelf and get rid of all of the books that I don't read anymore, or I don't want, or whatever the case may be. I have to be in the mood. And when I'm in that mood, look out. Look out, Sammy, look out, because I may just pick you up and throw you in the garbage. It's like everything goes. And afterwards, I sort of have this like, holy crap, what did I do? I got rid of everything moment. But then it's like so nice that I have room for, the books I want to keep and stuff like that, whatever the case may be. Well, my stash shelving runneth over. So I need to make some room for some of the newer purchases and newer items that I've purchased on D-Stash sites and stuff like that. So another opportunity to go back through and get those items out. Or if there's a company, like if I bought something from a company and I've done, I bought multiple maybe, and I did one and the quality wasn't great, and even though it's licensed, I may go ahead and just get rid of that company's paintings because I didn't enjoy working on them. So yeah, I did that today, and my goal was to find some more items that I could de-stash in an auction. And I didn't have that in me. I don't know what the deal is. I've been just very tired all this weekend and just sort of blah about the whole thing. I haven't even made a lot of progress diamond painting. I think it was last week I finished an entire row in a couple days. And now it's like I'm on the second release paper of this row, and it's just like I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling it, but I'm not feeling it. It's like, yeah, I want to get it done. I want to work on it, but at the same time, I rather like go take a nap. I don't know. So yeah, so I hope everyone is having some good progress on their images. And like I said, this is the first canvas. I'm hoping to finish this up before mid-month so that I can then do my merman. I have a merman image that I plan to work on next. So that will be fun. Let's see. So then I missed another one. I'm missing a lot of symbols. This is one of those paintings that it's difficult to have on a WIP and chat, or it's even difficult, like if you're listening to a good audiobook or a good movie or something, it's like you just start missing symbols left and right. So definitely have developed the muscle memory to know where I'm going for what container of drills and what box that they're in. So I guess that's good. But so yeah. What else? Well, this week, I talked about it in my live on Sunday, and I posted some pictures on the Facebook group. If you're not aware, I started a Facebook group, a Speaking of Diamonds Facebook group. I'm sure that everyone is like, yay, another Facebook group that I can belong to and see stuff posted in and whatnot. But, I thought, especially if folks are newer to the community, it's a starting point, right? And starting point to find other creators and pages and stuff like that. So if you'd like, definitely go and subscribe. I typically will post there when I'm putting up a video, or, I like to see what people are working on. I like to see what people's unicorns are, what people, not necessarily unicorn, but just what they're looking for, things like that. So certainly go over, and it's much easier to communicate. I find posting on a Facebook page is more effective than the community tab in Facebook, because sometimes people just don't go to the community tab to see posts and stuff like that. Whereas people tend to spend more time or just visit Facebook more often. So there is that. But so for this week, I had the opportunity to meet Berta and Melanie in person. And that was Melanie, Diamonds and Dogs. Both of them were going to the Mingle in the Mitten retreat in Michigan. And they flew into Chicago. And I am like 20 minutes from O'Hare and probably 40 minutes from Midway. And they flew into O'Hare. So I went and met them on Wednesday evening, picked them up, and we went out to dinner. Really great Italian restaurant with really great food. And we just had so many laughs. Just so many laughs. It's amazing. I was telling somebody that normally my social anxiety would kick in and I would be dreading to go meet somebody that I haven't met in person before. But we've spent so much time talking to each other online that this was very comfortable. And I thought, I sort of really like this, that it's a warm first meeting as opposed to a cold first meeting that you've never met the person before. So that was really nice. And so we had a good time with that. And then they left on Thursday morning to head around the lake over to Michigan, for the retreat. And so here, these two, I don't know if I talked about this in my live or not, but I'll tell you the story anyhow because it's funny. I was telling them, hey, just so you know, you're in the Midwest now, and it's a thing that when you drive by a farm and they have cows, you have to yell, cows, so everybody in the car knows to look at the cows. And they're like, oh, okay. I said, but you don't do it for anything else. You don't need to yell horses or, whatever other farm animals you may see along the way, just cows. They're like, okay, whatever. So they're driving on Thursday. I'm here working, and my phone buzzes, and it's Melanie. And she has her phone. She's recorded a small little video. It's fixed on Berta, who's driving, and both of them in unison go, cow. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. They're doing the Midwestern cows, yell, call out, whatever. That's really cute. Well, then I proceeded to get a number of additional messages from Melanie. I thought, what the heck is going on? So finally I had a chance to check my, my phone, and they're yelling out for everything that they see. So let's see, I think I got horses, then cow manure, roadkill, and then my favorite one was like old tire. I'm like, okay, you guys, now you're asking for it. So that was sort of funny, and then I got periodic funnies throughout the retreat, and it sounds like they had a really good time, and I'm looking forward to my first retreat next month, the Great Lakes Escape. Looking forward to that, and Berta and Melanie are coming for that as well, and they're coming into Chicago, and then we're gonna drive the 4 hours or so to Ohio. So that will be fun. So then let's see. So that was Thursday. So the retreat was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's Sunday evening now. And they were coming back into Chicago to catch the planes home, right? And Berta had something sent to my house. She was getting something from someone. She had them sent to my house because it was cheaper than sending it to Alaska, and she was going to be here. And then Melanie had picked up some stuff from some folks at the retreat for me, so we had to do a little bit of handoff. But the twist is that they wanted to meet Sammy. And I said, well, sure, of course. He likes meeting new people. So initially I thought, oh, let's do lunch or something, because they had some time between them getting here and between their flights and stuff like that. And I was going back and forth. I says, I can't find anything that is dog friendly out by the airport. And it was supposed to storm today, so I didn't want to be like, hey, I'll pick up some sub sandwiches or something and let's meet at a park and, sit in the rain or whatever the case may be. So they said, you know what, the priority is meeting Sammy. So just let's just arrange that. So there's O'Hare Field is situated along, not directly abutting, but it's along the Des Plaines River. And it's a river that runs from way up north, and it winds all through the suburbs and stuff like that. When it rains a lot, it floods periodically. And there have been areas that they have actually built floodgates and flood mitigation pumps and stuff like that. But then a lot of it is they just, the Forest Preserve has bought the land on either side of the river, and they turned it into forest preserves. And, you can go there, you could bike, you can walk, you can have picnics, whatever you need to do. And if it floods, there's no structures there to get damaged and stuff by the flood. So there is just a huge stretch of preserved wetlands and stuff and forests along this river that and there's like a bike trail that connects all of them together and stuff like that. So I said, there's one right sort of down the street from the car rental place that they have to go to return their car. I said, let's meet there. So I got there. I tried to get there a little early so that I could walk Sammy a little bit so he could do his potty and stuff like that before they got there. But we sort of, I went looking for a spot. There was like a big gathering of, I don't know if it was like soccer players or something, but big thing with lots of kids and families and stuff like that. So I was looking for a place to park that would be a little quieter so we could talk a little bit and Sammy wouldn't be super distracted. And ends up that I was pulling into the spot just as they pulled in. So I'm like, oh, okay. So they got to meet Sammy and we chatted a little bit about how the retreat went, and that was nice. And they got to give Sammy some treats, and Sammy took a little walk with Melanie while Berta and I were exchanging some canvases and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just a nice meetup. And I'm really looking forward to seeing them again in about 6 weeks or so for the next retreat. And yeah, so that was very nice. So I went out and did that, and then we came home. That's a bad drill. Let me get rid of that one before I have to deal with it later. We came home, and I sat down and did a little bit more work on the computer, bookkeeping, records, stuff like that, and then did my live, and then made Sammy's dinner, my dinner, etc., whatever. And so I've just recently sat down to diamond paint, and it's kicking in now. Like when I first sat down, it's like, I'm tired. I just want to go to bed and blah blah blah. I don't know that I want to diamond paint. But now that I've started and I'm doing it, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is good. This is exactly what I needed. So glad to have you along. So yeah, I don't think, like I said, I don't think there's anything big coming up this week. Just working and diamond painting, and then we got about 2.5 weeks, and then I have a couple days off. I took some days off around Sammy's birthday so that we can celebrate and hang out. But then I can also get some diamond painting done, some longer sessions, which will be nice. And I'm looking forward to that. And then a couple weeks later, I'll be off for the retreat. So, yeah. So for part of the Mermaids and Magic, so we hold these WIP and chats to have you guys, sort of check in. Certainly you can, be posting your progress pictures and stuff in the Facebook group. I don't think that's a requirement, but it's always nice to see progress, right? And if anything, it's nice for you to see your progress out there. And sometimes, people are very excited to see progress because they're like, ooh, I think I like that image. And then to see it come to life, they're like, yep, I need to go find that. So that's cool. But as part of holding this, I says, I want to do more than just like a whip and chat. So what I've done is done a little bit of research and found some lore or stories about mermaids and magic. And I want to share the first story with you this week. And it has to do with the magical creatures known as fairies, which I think is very apropos given that I have a fairy castle on my painting. So what I've done is I've just recorded me reading the story so that you can listen along, because I know a lot of you listen to these while you're diamond painting or doing chores and stuff like that, and you don't look at the screen, you just mostly listen. And oddly enough, people have told me that my voice is soothing, so here we go. You got a little story time with Rich. And I don't see that, but I don't think anybody likes the sound of their voice. So I did do a little bit of production on the video, that there is, some sound and some music and stuff like that. And I did include some images, but they're not germane to understanding the story. So if you don't look up at the screen, that's fine. If you do, you'll see some pictures of what's being described in the story. but it's a story from the early 1900s. And again, it's about fairies. So I present to you the first story of some lore about magical creatures called fairies. Come on back when we're done.
In December 1920, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle unwittingly gave credence to one of the greatest hoaxes of the 20th century when he published the now world-famous Cottingley Fairies photos. But how was the mind that created super sleuth Sherlock Holmes taken in by two young girls armed with nothing but paper cutouts and hatpins? One summer's day in July 1917, 9-year-old Frances Griffith came traipsing back into the house she shared with her cousin Elise Wright, 16, and their two families. Her shoes were soaked through from playing in the stream at the bottom of the garden, and when her mother demanded to know why, she said, "I go to see the fairies." Determined to support her cousin, Elise convinced her father to lend her his camera, saying she would bring back proof of Frances's claim. When the girls returned and the picture was developed showing Frances surrounded by 4 prancing sprites, they were adamant the image was real. To bolster their claim, several weeks later they took a second photo showing Elise with a dancing gnome. Dr. Merrick Burrow, curator of the exhibit of the Cottingley Fairies, said the girls made a pact never to confess how they had taken the photos, but with their parents stumped for the next 3 years, the pictures were nothing more than a puzzling family anecdote. "I don't think anyone really believed it," he said, but they couldn't explain how it had been done either. Then, in 1919, Elise's mother took prints of the photographs to a talk about fairies by the Theosophical Society in Bradford. The pictures then came to the attention of the Society's president, Edward Gardner, who gave a series of lectures on the photo in London in 1920. From there, word passed to Conan Doyle, who at the time was researching an article about fairy life as he sought to prove the case for his long-standing interest in spiritualism. Dr. Burrow, head of English and creative writing at the University of Huddersfield, said the author was initially suspicious the pictures might be a hoax and feared he was being set up by those keen to prove him gullible and to debunk his beliefs. He said from Conan Doyle's point of view, however, if these photos proved the existence of fairies and that you could photograph the supernatural, then they were a staging post in the argument for spiritualism. He said Conan Doyle had several experts look over the photographs before publishing them in the Strand magazine in December 1920. Conan Doyle said the images, if proven to be real, would mark an epoch in human thought, and argued that after carefully going into every possible source of error, a strong prima facie case had been built up for their veracity. He wrote, "The recognition of their existence will jolt the material 20th century mind out of its heavy ruts in the mud and will make it admit that there is a glamour and a mystery to life. Having discovered this, the world will not find it so difficult to accept that spiritual message supported by physical facts which has already been so convincingly put before it." Following its publication in Britain, the article went on to be published in Australia and the US, and the images achieved worldwide notoriety and sparked fierce debate. Dr. Burrow said, despite attracting widespread skepticism, Conan Doyle bought cameras for the 2 girls and asked them to take further photos. He said Conan Doyle's support for the images left the girls feeling painted into a corner and unable to say no, and in 1921, a second set of images was published. I think he believed it, said Dr. Burrow, but he was also being strategic. I do not think he was interested in fairies per se, but he was enormously interested in the idea that there was more to the world than what we consider normal reality. The author went on to write a book about the Cottingley fairies and even discussed with Gardner a film on the subject. He died in 1930, but the debate about the photos he had brought to the attention of the world raged on for decades until in 1983, Francis and Elise confessed the photographs had been faked. Dr. Burrow said he viewed the story of how the photos came to prominence as an accidental conspiracy, but that without Conan Doyle's involvement, there would have been no story. When the girls took the photos, there were a few prints made at the time by the family, but that would have been it, he said. Without him, I imagine they would have been lost in a drawer somewhere, just a quirky family story. Speaking to the BBC in 1983, Francis Griffith said, I never even thought of it being a fraud. It was just Elise and I having a bit of fun. I can't understand to this day why people were taken in. They wanted to be taken in. People often say to me, don't you feel ashamed that you've made all these poor people look like fools? They believed in you. But I do not, because they wanted to believe.
Welcome back. Wasn't that an interesting story? You know, I read that story, the article that I took the story from, and then I did some other research into it, and I always find things extra fascinating when they're like historical, but then they took place. Part of it took place sometime during my lifetime, and having the ladies confess to doing the video or the pictures, whatnot, in 1983. That's during my lifetime, so it sort of adds a little bit of extra interest for me. But I thought when I was reading that story, I was thinking about how easy it was back then to sort of fake these pictures, because the quality wasn't great, so you can sort of fudge it a little bit. It wasn't super clear to either prove or disprove the pictures. And I also thought it was interesting that the technology didn't exist to even try and debunk the pictures. Back then, I guess if you had photographic evidence, it happened, right? And then I think about current times and how we have the technology to not only sort of debunk some of the images and stuff that people take these days, but also to create those images flawlessly with deep fakes and stuff like that. And it's sort of interesting that it's like not full circle, but sort of like a full flippin' circle. It's like it came around, but now it's flipped a little bit. And I don't know that it's necessarily any better, but it is interesting. So as promised, I have the keyword for this week for you. And the keyword has to do with our story regarding the pictures of the fairies. So this week's keyword is camera. That's camera, as in I took a picture with my camera. And what I would like you to, how I'd like you to use that word in the comments of this video is tell me something that you have or have not caught on camera that you are excited that you did, or that you said that you didn't. So that could be items on video cameras or still cameras, whatever the case may be. Let me know, again, what is something that you are happy that you caught on camera and you maybe cherish it to this day? Or is there something that you wish you had on camera that you sort of regret every time you think about it? You're like, oh, I really wish I had that on camera. I had the opportunity to get it on camera and I just didn't. So put that, answer that question down below in the comments. Make sure to use the word camera in the sentence or the story that you're posting. And what we'll do is, this video is going up on Monday, so you have a week to watch the video, get the keyword, and then think of a response. Make sure your response is posted to the comments by Friday evening. And what will happen is Saturday morning, we will go through, we'll run a comment picker at random and pick the names of people who've met the requirement of using the word camera in a sentence in the comments. And the winners will be posted in the Facebook group. Unlike some other events that you may have participated in, we're not going to have a live video to go through and pull names and stuff like that. We're just going to let the comment picker do its job and then post the winners in the Facebook group. So on that note, I think I am going to wrap this up. I got my next symbol out here, so that's good. I'm almost finished with this section. I'm excited about that. And looking forward to moving on up, because this is down in the water and stuff like that. There's not a lot of interest down here, but as we get up, we get into like some interesting, there's a girl sitting here, there's some pyramids, stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to finishing, continuing to work up on the this image. So I hope you enjoyed the story. Next week, tune in for another keyword. And next week, we will have a story or lore or what have you about mermaids. And then we'll alternate every week until the end of the event. So thanks for stopping by. Please make sure that you subscribed and hit the notification button so that you get notified when a video is posted. And by all means, please, 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 please remember to give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, if you got anything out of it, or if you're just, wanted to let me know you stopped by, hit that thumbs up. It definitely helps, and it's interesting to see, how many views a video has versus thumbs up and stuff like that, and then try to figure out what I could do better to warrant more thumbs up. So go ahead and do that, and I will catch you next week with another Whip and Chat for Mermaids and Magic, and I'm going to go out on a bang, spilling my drills here. So everybody have a good week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.